This, I think, was from about a week ago. Again, I'm getting caught up on all of this stuff. When he defended himself after calling MAGA Republicans semi-fascist.
What do you mean by semi-fascism, sir?
In December, you will...
You know what I mean.
Senator Lindsey Graham said last night there would be riots in the street if former President Trump is prosecuted for taking classified government documents to Mar-a-Lago. What is the White House response to that?
So, we have seen MAGA Republicans attack our democracy. We have seen MAGA Republicans take away our rights, make threats of violence, including this weekend. And that is what the president was referring to when you all asked me last week about the semi-fascism comment.
So if I can link this back to a little bit of where we started with the Sam Harris stuff, the point here is that sort of like Sam Harris, they're now saying the quiet part out loud. They are okay silencing people, whether it's through big tech or whatever means they see fit. They are okay using the FBI to investigate the former president, or whether they want to hire, I'm told, 87,000 new IRS agents to look into your finances so that the government can take more of your money. Armed agents, by the way. They're saying all the quiet things out loud. They call you fascist. They call Donald Trump fascist. The idea that he would use the power of the state and corporations to crack down on people while they're the ones who are doing it. They were the ones who used the levers of the state to influence corporations during COVID to fire the very people who earlier were deemed the essential workers, firing nurses who wanted to, my body, my choice. Everything they say is a lie. When you know it, it frees you. It absolutely frees you. So we just showed, I hadn't seen her in about a month. That was Black lesbian press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. And then she said something even more insane. This is just from yesterday. I mean, this one is really, really wild. And well, I'm not going to tee up any further than to say, does this sound like true freedom to you or mob rule?
Again, we see majority of Americans who disagree. And so when you are not with where majority of Americans are, then, that is extreme. That is an extreme way of thinking.
I mean, if she believes that, there's so much history that this woman needs to learn, but that is what these people think. If most people believe something is right and true, then it must be right and true. And if you do not, you are the radical. You are the extremist. I mean, that is mob rule on steroids. That is how all of the awful movements of history, that is how pogroms and holocausts and all sorts of horrible things happen. A majority starts getting drunk on power, starts following a bad leader, and then is willing to do all sorts of bad things to the minority. You could have a group of 20 people, and just because 19 people say that 2 + 2 = 5, it doesn't mean that the one guy who says 2 + 2 is 4 is the extremist. I mean, this is just absolutely extraordinary. But again, it fits. Doesn't this all sort of fit like a puzzle into everything that's been going on here for quite some time? So what does this all kind of lead us to? Because now we are in the fall. It is September, and that means we are basically 2 months away from these midterm elections. And yes, it does, at least at the moment, look like there's going to be this massive red wave. And that's partly why Biden is using the scary imagery and this MAGA Republican, and it's partly why he's doing that, because all they've got is they need people to be fearful, whether it's fearful of the MAGA extremists or whether it's fearful of COVID or monkeypox or something else. All they have left is that you will need us because you will be afraid, okay? We're also about 9 months away from the Republican primary season now, so a bunch of Republicans are going to get in on the presidential stage, and we'll see how that thing fights out. And I hope that it's a robust fight. But again, all of this leads to that we have a really bizarre 2 months in front of us right now, because the Biden administration clearly is out of control. IRS agents everywhere are going to investigate Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Half the country are terrorists, and an election on the horizon.